Hey guys, Scott here. I am recording a video. We're going to do a little bit of a travel vlog, but a what's going to happen travel vlog. It makes it a little bit easier for you guys to keep track of just what's going on the channel. So I've got some travel coming up. I'm recording this midweek. It's a busy week for me because I got to get a lot of videos done so that I'm able to travel and not fall behind while doing so. It's surprisingly challenging. And right now I've actually been working on a number of videos that are scheduled out towards the end of the year. I have ones in July, in October, in November. Sometimes I have topics that I don't want to make happen too close to other topics, or I don't want them happening too close to an event that's happened, and so they end up getting scheduled way out. Or sometimes I'm just spacing things, which is good because it means I have some backlog future out there, and I can see that there's going to be some days where I can take a day off or whatever coming, but they're months away. I think it's a good process. I'm going to keep doing that, but right now I've got to get a bunch done. So today I'm going to be telling you about my travel for the week and giving more of a vlog update rather than a all about travel in Nicaragua. Like, we do different things at different times. So we're going to get to what I'm doing this week right after the bump. So as many of you know, I have been without a driver's license for the last year and a half. I had my birthday last February, and while we were in the United States on our last trip to the United States, this was quite some time ago, and if you're interested in what was going on then, go check out the early 2024 episodes where we were going to Walt Disney World and New York and a few different places with the kids. We did a family trip, and it was our big Disney trip that we took some time off of filming. We did talk about it, but I didn't film Disney World, and it was nice to get a family vacation and disconnect for a little while, and one of my big challenges was keeping up with the show. Anyway, so that's what was happening when we arrived there. We had totally forgotten that my license had expired in February. We got there in March or April. Here in Nicaragua, no one had mentioned it, and it's not like I have to show it very often. I really don't drive that much, and when we were going to rent a car, suddenly they said, happy birthday, but who's going to drive the car? We're like, oh no. So luckily my wife's driver's license had not expired. We were able to have her drive, which she was super unhappy with, and still doesn't let me live down that she had to drive for a little bit. I'm a little bit like, you do realize that the thing you're so angry about years later is that you had to do the task that I have to do for you every day, one time. Like, you do realize we do this for you all the time, right? Like, she forgets that this terrible thing she had to do, drive between two cities in the US, like, the rest of us do this so that she can go places all the time. And she was expecting me to have done this, and it was so terrible that she had to do it. And I understand it was a surprise and she hadn't prepped for it or whatever and didn't think she was gonna have to do it. And I wasn't looking forward to it, but it was a really minor thing that she just expects me to do at the drop of a hat. And she, 2 years later, is like, well, I can't believe you made me drive the car. And it was not even a stick or anything. It's just an automatic. Anyway, so we rented the car and she had to do that. So I've been without a driver's license. We went back in December. I had everything scheduled at the state of Texas, and their computer system went down for the entire time that we were in Texas, and they were unable to renew my license. So I did everything I was supposed to do. I followed all the rules. I did all the scheduling. I had all the paperwork, and I wasn't able to get my license. And I even talked to them. They like closed down the office. They're like, yeah, our systems don't work. We're like, when will it be back? They're like, we have no idea. Check back next week. I'm like, I can't come back next week. I flew in for this, and they're like, oh, sorry. Like, that was it. They had nothing. They couldn't waive the requirement to do it in person. They didn't do anything. So in general, Texas has a lot of this stuff down pretty well. This was a pretty serious failing of just not caring at all. If it was Nicaragua, they'd have been like, oh, let me just write you a piece of paper and fix this problem. But no, this was a complete, like, oh, just fly back and not have a license between now and then. Absolutely terrible. So it was my fault that it expired in the first place. I totally get that. But once that happened, there are systems for dealing with this, and now it's been a year and a half. Most of this time, not my fault. Anyway, so my wife's expired in August. So we've been just really struggling. Not that she ever drives anyway, but it's nice to have the option. And so now I have to go back and get my driver's license renewed. So it's scheduled on the 19th. I have a full week that I'm going to be in Texas in case they have the same problems again, because they have them every few months. Like, this is a regular problem that Texas does not put due diligence into their computer systems for the state for things that connect to like the police and such. And so they're being taken down on a regular basis by things that are very predictable and like very much just violating best practices and standard responsibility in their IT department, at least as that's what they're reporting from their outages. And so it's it's a pretty big worry that they've had weeks and weeks of being offline. Technically, we've never gotten notified that their systems have come back online since we were there in December and January, but they must be back by now, and they are allowing me to schedule an appointment. So I'm going back to do that. Hopefully that gets done on Monday morning. So you're seeing this on Sunday. It's actually my flight day. I'll tell you about the flight in a second. And then the rest of the time is either set aside for emergency license stuff. I can drive around to different parts of the state if I have to. I can try to get a second appointment. I can repeat it. I can just wait there, whatever. I have nothing to do except to get that license. Any moment I'm not getting the license, our storage unit there, our bodega, is very near the airport and very near the license bureau. And so our goal is, we've got some friends there in the area. They're going to come out and we're going to try to empty the storage unit and get it down to just what needs to go onto a pallet, into a barrel or whatever, to ship it here to Nicaragua. Now, someone asked me recently, I think it was Luke, am I going to get a container, partial container, anything to ship it down? And we do not have anywhere near that amount of stuff. Even the storage unit we have now would fit in less than half a container, no problem whatsoever. And we plan on eliminating easily 90% of that, possibly more. And of the stuff that remains, most of it should be light. There's going to be a little bit of like papers and things. Those are heavy. We're going to try to get that down to as little as possible. But for the most part, the big things that we're shipping down, one is my antique computer collection. They are not heavy. Mostly it's like Commodore 64s, and they're often in cardboard boxes, which weigh nothing. And then a lot of my children's toys, the heaviest of which is like Legos. Some of them are like Playmobil. These things are super light. So we want to identify those things, get them moved into a spot where we can really easily have them packed up and shipped to us. And then over time, figure out how to pack them up and ship them to us. But right now, everything is stacked to the ceiling. It's like over 10 feet tall, maybe 12 feet that we're stacked to. You have to have ladders. You got to really work to get things down. It's got furniture packed on top of furniture. There's heavy metal shelving in there. There's big metal storage units. A lot of the stuff is broken, but at the time, it's like, well, we have the storage unit, just toss it in, we'll deal with it later. Now it's later, we got to deal with it. So a lot of that stuff is just going to be given away. A lot is going to be thrown away. Some is going to be used somewhere. And we're going to try to go through what we can and identify anything that is considered necessary to keep. And it's all nostalgia stuff. None of it's things we need for anything from a functional standpoint. So we're going to get that all cleared out, cleared down, and hopefully get it that things can come here to Nicaragua with us. I may do small shipments from there. We really just have to see what it's going to get down to. We have no idea how we're going to ship it, but the total amount of stuff, if this goes well, will be very small. I do have a couple pieces of furniture that I would really like to ship down here, but as someone pointed out, they're real leather and they're not going to hold up really well here, but we have kept them for almost 25 years, and I don't really want to give those pieces up if I can help it, so we're trying to figure out how we'll be able to keep a couple of those things, but realistically, I don't know that we'll be able to. So we're going to do as much as we can with that. If we can close down that storage unit and at least get into a cheaper storage unit that's closer to family, that would be great. My wife is returning to the Houston area, and we'll be seeing her family later this year. I believe in September. We have a very complicated schedule. She is going to Florida just like me, which I'll say in a second. She is going to see the Stevie Nicks concert in Tampa, and has like front row seats. Like, she's crazy excited. It's her favorite artist. And probably Stevie Nicks' last tour. So she's very much looking forward to that. So that's one of the reasons we have to travel at separate times, because we have overlapping time in the country that we got to deal with. It's just very complicated, and different tasks we need to do. So what is my travel situation today? So today, Sunday, I'm going to be leaving for the airport sometime on the early side, probably around 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. Paul and I are driving out to Managua Airport and going to be flying there. I think Ida is coming out with us so she can go hang out with La Marcelita to celebrate her birthday, which her and her daughter Valentina's birthdays, both of whom are on the show a bit, is this week. And so they're going to go celebrate and hang out there, because I tried to go this past week to the States and was not able to. They had ran into flight problems, so I had to push it off a week, and I'm missing Marcela's birthday, so my apologies to her. But I did try to schedule around this. I did actually make an effort to not have that happen, but unfortunately got screwed by the available flight options and the schedule with the DPS. So we're driving out to Managua around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Our flight is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which which is super convenient. So we only have to get to the airport about 11:30, and that leaves plenty of time as long as there's no traffic issues. And that's why we need to leave a little bit on the early side. It can take as a little bit over 2 hours to get the airport. If there's heavy traffic at that time, there should not be. It should be very easy, but just in case, need to allow that time. So they always say, 3 hours before an international flight, but Managua only has international flights realistically, and nothing is accommodating you that much ahead of time. They just do not want you there 3 hours ahead. So about 2.5 is really good for a busy middle of the afternoon. We will have plenty of time to sit around and wait in the airport. I will try to do a little filming in the airport for you guys if I have the time and the wherewithal. And then we will be getting our flight at 2 o'clock up to Tampa. We will be in Tampa. Now remember, there's a time zone change. So it's like 6:30, I think, that we arrive in Tampa in local time. Should be 2-hour time shift. So it's about 2.5 hours, not Tampa. I don't, Paul keeps saying Tampa, and it's making me think that. We are flying to Fort Lauderdale. We will get to Fort Lauderdale around 6:30 local time, so it's about 2.5 hours in the air. And then we have 3.5 hours of a layover in Fort Lauderdale. This is all on Spirit, of course. That's who flies to Fort Lauderdale and has the good prices here. They seem to be flying again pretty regularly, so awesome. We will then get a flight from Fort Lauderdale at 10 o'clock in the evening over to Houston, Texas. So we will be getting in local time just after midnight in Houston tonight, or technically tomorrow morning. And then I will go to my driver's license appointment tomorrow morning, and fingers crossed I'm able to upload a short letting you know that I have a driver's license, at which point we will be doing so much more amazing content on the show really soon. And hopefully by the time I return, my car is back from the shop. It's been in the shop already at the time I'm recording this for an entire week, and we don't know when we're going to be potentially getting it back. It was in an accident. It was parked and someone just crashed into it. It's all under insurance, and so we're getting everything replaced. We're getting all new parts. So this is my brand new car that I haven't been able to show you guys yet because I had this accident. So it's been in the shop for forever. So many ridiculous things that make it so hard for me to show you anything involving driving. But we're starting to get there. Little by little, it's happening poco a poco. And that is my travel day today. So I'm going to be in the United States for the next week. So we'll be looking for any content you see coming from Nicaragua over the next few days is pre-recorded. Anything coming from the United States is being recorded from probably tomorrow and on. I will be coming back next Sunday. So it's less than a full week actually in the U.S. 2 full days of flying, Sunday and Sunday. So I'll be there Monday through Saturday. I'll be eating as much vegetarian pre-prepared food as I possibly can. The one thing that I really miss, and Texas doesn't really have food that I miss so much. The occasional Tex-Mex taco or something, but it's not like when I go to New York and there's all this food that is so good that I can't get anywhere else. Texas is kind of like Nicaragua. It doesn't have the big variety and high quality of food. It has a few things that they do well, but mostly you're just getting pre-prepared food there and fast food. So I really don't miss very much outside of like Impossible Burgers from time to time or something like that, a Beyond Burger. So I'll try to hit a Carl's Jr. if I can, because the Carl's Jr. down here doesn't offer the full menu, and the things that I can eat aren't on it. Hey, Carl's Jr., get on the ball with that. You'd be a huge hit in Nicaragua as the one place offering the Beyond Burgers if you just ship them in. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe. If you'd like to help support the channel and my journeys to deal with all this crap to be able to bring you awesome content, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/ScottAllenMiller. As always, hit that like, subscribe, share it on social media, tell someone about the show, check out the show notes for everything you could possibly want to know. Ask questions down in the comments. Leave your comments, say hello, and I will see. From Houston, Texas, I sure hope that nothing goes wrong. This is my first time crossing the border since all the mayhem has begun, so hopefully this goes smoothly. I will see all of you tomorrow.